All right, let's talk about NHL Coast to Coast or NHL on Prime, or I don't know really what you want to call it, but yesterday was the first ever Amazon Prime live show for the NHL. And there's going to be a couple more throughout the season, but this was the first time that they were supposed to support, showing all the games that were happening all night long. And on paper, it seems like a great idea, but here it is. The execution was not really well done. Let me explain why. So as the show started, it seemed like, oh, okay, this seems pretty cool. You got some former NHLers, PK Subban, Jason Demers were there. It was, fun to see them. They might rotate out. I'm not sure if they're like the official, presenters of the Coast to Coast Prime thing, but regardless, it was cool to see them out there. It was nice to see PK back on there. It's what he does best. But regardless, it was just a really awkward scenario where the game started and they showed all 3 games or 4 games that started at the same time on screen. And it was cool because you could see all 4. You're like, wow, this is fascinating. Although if you have been around for a long time watching NHL games, you do know that Rogers had something very similar and was very well executed, but I'll get back to that in a little bit. But regardless, all the games were on the screen, and they were talking about a few of them, and when something happened, they'd cut to that one, or maybe they'd full screen one for a little bit and then switch back to another one. So it was relatively efficient at showing the games at the beginning. But then about 20 minutes into the show, so maybe halfway through each of the first periods of the game, it turned into kind of a what the hell is happening scenario. And let me explain exactly what happened, because you will not believe this. So they were like, guys, we're going to have somebody huge show up on the show. He's going to be interviewed, whatever. And then they announced it. They're like, it's Leon Draisaitl. It's like, oh my God, Leon Draisaitl. Wow. Oh my God. And it was cool to see him on there. It was fun to have him there. And at first, when they started talking about him, it made sense to have him on one side of the screen and the hockey game on the other side of the screen. Now, they couldn't show all the hockey games, but they had at least one hockey game on the side of the screen and him on the other. And then at one point, whoever runs the camera operating on that show decided to make Leon big screen, and the hockey game went away. And I'm like, hold on. I thought this was a hockey thing. Like, I get it. Leon Draisaitl, amazing. Love to see him. Beauty. But, like, can we go back to the hockey games? Like, I want to watch the hockey games, Like, it's not, this program isn't free. This is, you pay through Amazon Prime, so I want to pay for my hockey games. And why am I not watching any? Why am I looking at Draisaitl right now on full screen? He's not even playing tonight. And that's basically, I gave that maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 more minutes. And then I said, well, I'm missing the games that I want to watch. So I closed it. And then I got to watch the rest of the first period for the games that I wanted to. And that is where I was like, oh, shoot, like this is how it's going to go. Because it came from, oh, okay, cool. Like, there's all these fun little games on the screen. You get to watch all of them at once while there's some, commentary from former NHLers on the side talking about all these different things. Although, to be honest, they're not really that good. There's a reason why our favorite broadcasters from our favorite teams are good at what they do. It's a very, very stark difference. Anyways, regardless, it just didn't work for me, and I was kind of peeved by it, and I thought, you know what, maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's for people who are kind of trying to get into hockey or are very, not uninterested fans, but average fans who don't really, care necessarily about seeing every little detail about the game all the time. And maybe that's just the difference between what they're going for, and maybe it's not for me, or maybe for some people like you guys on the channel. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Now, going back to my game Rogers Plus thing, I think it was called, or Game Center Ice. I forgot what it's called, but Rogers used to have this system where you could log in and you could watch all of the hockey games on their platform, and they rarely had any blackouts, which was amazing. But the coolest thing about it was that you could watch multiple games at the same time, all the time, and you could just, I think it was 4 games at once, and you could just, click through them, and every time you clicked on a window, you would get the audio for that, so you'd be able to listen to the broadcasters. It was really cool. Now, the coolest part about that is something that I have not seen in the NHL since, and I still don't understand why they haven't brought this back, is the fact that there was multiple camera angles per game. You could switch to a camera behind the goalie and watch that the entire game. There would be no broadcasting audio for that, but you could just watch it. You could watch top down. You could watch a star tracker where it would follow a certain player on the ice the entire night. Like, where do those things go? How is that not? I would pay okay money. I was going to say good money. I'd pay okay money for something like that. It's really unfortunate that these cool things from, oh my goodness, was this like 10 years ago? Maybe, I don't know. But it's just really unfortunate that these really cool and fun things are not even happening anymore. I think Rogers lost the rights to the NHL, and I believe Bell bought it up instead, which is really unfortunate because we know Bell here in Canada just doesn't care. So regardless, here we are in 2024, and I'm ranting about things that should have happened and should be happening. I'm sorry. It's just really unfortunate that the league is kind of working backwards against itself when there could have been cool, innovative things, and they just don't really care for those parts of the game. But regardless, we got Amazon Prime on our side, which is actually a bigger deal than I'm making it out to be. It's, again, a huge platform that can really reach a huge audience if it works out really well. The mini series out there are really great. I love to see it. I actually was scrolling through Amazon Prime, and you can actually watch some older games, but it's kind of fun. It's great, and we love to see hockey progressing and becoming more modernized in this world of technology. So good on the NHL for that, but I don't know. I just coast to coast, not really that great. So anyways, that's just my opinion. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.